Hi, very good morning, Mananda. Let us coming to 10th biology, 6th chapter, reproduction. Is it clear, children? Now we are in the 6th topic, reproduction. I mean that reproduction is one of the important life process among all the life process. Why? Because it is the only life process which makes life's continuation of its race, means continuation of their generations by producing their own offsprings by the process of reproduction. Is clear, children? Once again I repeat, regarding 10th class biology, we are having the life processes from digestion, I mean the nutrition topic, respiration, transportation, excretion, coordination. After that, we are moving to the reproduction. So this is the last concept regarding that physiology concept apart from the 10th biology. Is clear, children? So as I said previously, nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion, coordination, these are the life process which makes life possible to continuation of only that particular life period. For example, let us take as a human being, we are having the 100 years, the maximum lifespan or life period. So on or before going to die, we must leave their own offsprings introduced to that their own species. Then only the life continuation is possible. So this is the way reproduction process makes the perpetuation of its race. Perpetuation of its race. So let us come into the reproduction, the tagline, the generating system by producing the offsprings. Since regarding to the reproduction, already in the previous classes, I mean that 8th class, 7th class, you learn about what is meant by reproduction, how the organisms can be produced, what are the modes of reproduction, what is meant by asexual and sexual mode of reproduction. Especially in the 7th class, you read about reproduction in plants. In 8th class, 4th chapter, you learn about reproduction in animals. So we have to keep in mind those points. I would like to go to the continuation of the topic. See, actually, in plants and animals, reproduction is a necessary life processes for continuation of life by producing offspring. Is clear, children? In plants and animals, reproduction is a necessary life process. Do you know what is the meaning of life process? Next, it is an important and necessary life process for continuation of life by producing offsprings. Offspring means their own kind. For example, human beings produce the babies, the cat produce the kittens, dogs produce the puppies as well. See, next, organisms. Every living organism is having the capable of giving rise to their own offsprings. So living organisms are capable of giving rise to offsprings by the process of reproduction. So what is the source to continuation of life? Reproduction. Next, some organisms may reproduce differently in different situations. See here, it's very important concept. Some organisms are reproduced in different situations in the different modes of reproduction. For example, see paramecium. Why should we take paramecium? Already you learn about amoeba, binary fission in the 8th class itself. So we are taking that paramecium. So paramecium is a slipper-shaped animal tube which you learn in the 8th class biology, microorganisms as like a protozoans. So paramecium goes to the two ways. One is in favorable conditions. The paramecium undergoes to the transverse fission. See, this is the paramecium. The paramecium goes to the transverse fission. Usually amoeba and euglena longitudinal fission, but paramecium goes to the transverse fission. The transverse fission in a favorable condition. After repetition of these transverse binary fissions, the paramecium becomes weak. They are unable to split. Then in unfavorable conditions, the paramecium goes to conjugation. So conjugation is a type of sexual mode of reproduction. Why? Because they have the two parameciums close together and they have to exchange the macronucleus to micronucleus, micronucleus to macronucleus. Each nucleus is exchanging both the parameciums by the formation of cytoplasmic bridge. This is the way the paramecium goes to the different situations. Favorable conditions, it goes to the transverse fission. Unfavorable conditions, it goes to the conjugation. Is clear, children? Next, we are moving to the next point. The time required to produce also varies from organism to organism. For example, say bacteria can multiple within a few minutes. For example, we are taking to the horse or elephant or a human beings or a mammals like cows, sheep or goat. It is entirely different to the organism to organism or a species to species. See, even within the organism, certain environmental factors that would make faster the process of the reproduction. Even within the organism, for example, see, example say we are taking the lactobacillus bacterium. Already you learned this lab activity, making the curd by using this lukewarm milk. So, curding of milk by the molecule of lactobacillus bacteria. So, lactobacillus bacterium, which is the best example of curding of milk. See, for making curd, we are having the two possibilities. One, we have to choose the lukewarm milk, means moderate heat. When we boil the milk, when we heat the milk, and we have to cool down to the 10 degrees centigrade, that we call as a lukewarm milk. Then we are taking the freezing milk, cold milk. So if we are adding 1 or 2 drops of buttermilk to the both respective bowls of lukewarm milk and cold milk, which milk is turned into curd in a faster? Yes, we can imagine that the lukewarm milk is obviously turned into curd within a few hours, 3 to 4 hours or 4 to 5 hours maximum time. I mean that we are adding only 1 or 2 drops of buttermilk. I mean that we have to introduce the lukewarm, these lactobacillus bacteria in a limited number. But within few hours, these lactobacillus bacteria multiply their number and they have to enhance their number by the process of binary fission. Simple method is called as a binary fission. See, by the way, these lactobacillus bacterium can multiply their number. Is clear, children? So, even within the organism, because of the environmental condition, that means because of cold and hot, the climate or environmental factors change this, the reproduction process is faster or slow. So, this is the technique which we have to follow, the freezing the milk, pasteurization technique, refrigerator. So, all these introduced by this technique. Next, we are going to the important concept, another important topic of this concept, modes of reproduction. Then, how the organisms are reproduced. Yes, as we said that organisms can reproduce by two ways. One is asexual mode of reproduction. What do you mean by asexual mode of reproduction? Absence of the sexual organs. There is no question of gametes. There is no production of gametes. There is no fusion of the gametes. There is no sexual organs. So, simply the parent organisms can give rise to daughter ones. This is called as an asexual mode of reproduction. It occurs in primary organisms like primary plants and primary animals. For example, bacteria, fungi, algae, and some small plants, as well as protozoans. All these primary organisms can choose this simplest method of asexual mode of reproduction. Then we are moving to another mode of reproduction, which is called as sexual mode of reproduction. So, sexual mode of reproduction occurs in the higher plants and higher animals. Higher plants and higher animals, because of the sexual dimorphism, means plants, if we have to take a plant, male plant and the female plant is separate. We are taking that the gender, male gender, female gender is separate in the man, female and male. So, sexual mode of reproduction occurs in the higher plants and higher animals, whereas asexual mode of reproduction occurs in the primary animals and the primary plants. Now we are going to the asexual mode of reproduction. So, as per the textbook concern, we have to move to the asexual mode of reproduction. We are seeing to the binary fission in amoeba, euglena, and bacteria. These are goes to the binary fission. Whereas coming to the paramecium goes to the transverse fission. Next, budding. So, bud means buds will form to the continuation of their generation by the yeast and the fungi. So, yeast and fungi they can reproduce by the budding method. Next, this is called as a spirogyra, ribbon-shaped algae. So, it is simply by the fragmentation. It is the simplest method of algae and fungi. So, transverse fission in paramecium. Next, Budding is the commonest method of fungi and yeast. Next we are moving to the fragmentation in algae and fungi. Next we are moving to the another example, parthenogenesis. So parthenogenesis nowadays in market, the seedless fruits are available, especially in watermelon, grapes, dates and all. How it is produced? What is the technique they have to follow? Actually, it is a separate technique which we are following to produce the seedless fruits that we call as a parthenogenesis. So actually, what is the mechanism behind to produce the seedless fruits is, if the fertilization is occurs when the male gametes is fused with the female gametes, I mean that when the pollen grains are touched to the these ovary, then obviously the fertilization takes place, the seed is produced. So how to avoid that seed, or how to modify the ovum into zygote? So usually without fertilization, the female part, but means ovary, undergoes into the fruit that is called as parthenocarpy. So parthenocarpy technically we call as it is occurs in the plants, parthenogenesis in animals. For example, while we are producing the seedless fruits like watermelon, grapes or dates, some other plants, as like animals, see wasps, bees, ants. So these animals also can produce by the parthenogenesis. So parthenogenesis occurs in the animals, parthenocarpy occurs in the plants. So it is the modern method to produce seedless fruits by the customer's choice, by the farmer's selection. So this is the parthenogenesis. Next, regeneration. So what do you mean by regeneration? Some of the organisms, even they have to produce from their body parts, the whole organism, that we call as a regeneration. Means once again they have to generate the whole organism by the fragmentation method or regeneration method. So regeneration occurs in some of the organisms, some parts are more and more. For example, see in human beings, the liver is having the more regeneration capacity when compared to other organs. Like that, we are having the planaria. Planaria belongs to the platyhelminths. It is commonly called as a liver fluke. So these planaria belongs to platyhelminths. When we have to cut this planaria into different bits, each bit develop into the whole body, the whole organism. So regeneration is also a kind of asexual mode of reproduction. So far we have to discuss about the asexual mode of reproduction. Asexual mode of reproduction. Then we are moving to the in plants, we are having the majorly two parts. One is the asexual part of the plant, sexual part of the plant. When we are going to take asexual part of the plant like the roots, stem, see, leaves, stems, stolons, bulbs, palms, tubers, rhizome, roots. These are the asexual part of the plant which can produce the whole plant by the natural vegetative propagation. So what do you mean by vegetative? Vegetative means vegetative parts. What is the mean of sexual part of the plant? Flower. So flower is the sexual part of the plant. So the remaining parts, leaves, stems, stolons, bulbs, palms, tubers, rhizome, roots, these are the common asexual part of the plant. Is clear, children? Next we are moving to the natural vegetative propagation. Propagation is to produce. So once again they have to produce by these simple methods. For example, see potato, or ginger, how sugarcane. So without seeds, how they have to produce their once again their gametes? Because of these vegetative parts. This we call as natural vegetative propagation. Naturally they have to produce. And artificial methods also there that we have to discuss in the next week. First, in this part we have to discuss about the leaves. See, some of the plants leaves margins they have to produce some new plants. This is called as a bryophyllum. See, this is one of the example of bryophyllum. So take a bryophyllum leaf. When you have to observe or examine the margin of the leaf, it produces the buds. This is called as a bryophyllum. Next we are moving to the stems. See, asexual mode of the plants For example, stems, rose plant, Miriam. These plants can produce by these stems. For example, sugar cane. So leaves, bryophyllum, stems, these rose plants and Miriam, etc. These are the examples. Next we are moving to the stolons. See, stolons means, for example, jasmine and strawberry. Stolons, jasmine and strawberry. Next, examples of that bulbs, onion. You know that onion means allium sapha, onion, allium sapha. Next, corms. So this is called as the bulbs of onions, bulbils, bulbil-like structure. This is a tuber. Tuber means dumpa, Bangala dumpa. Tuber means dumpal, chilagad dumpal. So this is called as a tubers. Next we move to the rhizome. Rhizome means komu, allam komu. For example, pasupu komu. See, this is called as a rhizome, means ginger. Next, roots. So carrot, beetroot, radish, dahlia. So these are called as roots. I mean that natural vegetative propagation means if you have to select a plant obviously having the two main parts. One is the sexual part of the plant like flower in flowering plants. In non-flowering plants, for example, see non-flowering plants like algae, fungi, bryophytes, pteridophytes, as you learn in the 9th class, diversity living organisms like cryptograms are non-flowering plants. So these non-flowering plants, how they have to produce the new plants? By these vegetative parts like stems, stolons, leaves, bulbs, corms, tubers, rhizome, roots, etc. So this is the way the plants can reproduce to continuation of their generation by the simple asexual mode of reproduction. Thank you, children. Thank you for watching this video.